There's not a lot of bees in here.
Should I go?
No, just leave it there. That's fine. It ain't gonna hurt nothing.
Is this going on YouTube?
Yeah.
Normally when I do it, I always take this. I always take the second frame in.
No.
Loosen up
You're gonna have to sit there for 2 hours.
Pull the second frame from the outside out first.
Painful.
Actually, right in there.
Yep. That way when you're doing it, for you new people, you'll make sure you just slide it over always. Slide it over so you got room and pick it straight up. I've seen a lot of people grab them this far up and they go like this. I want to look. No, you don't want to look. You want
That's the way to kill the queen.
Yes, you want to bring it straight up like this. Now I got room for an extra frame in here. I can just slide this one over. We're going to pop the next one, do exactly the same thing. There's a couple bees on here, nobody's serious. I always look anyway. I found the queen, sometimes you don't know where she's going to be. Normally she should be on brood. So here, nice and calm they are. Got some brood in there. Looking for eggs down on the inside there. Don't see too many eggs in there.
Yes, fence is off.
See anything in there?
Show them the queen. Show them the queen cup there.
There's a cell. Yeah, there's a cup right here. And that would be a super seeder's cup, but it's just a cup. There's nothing in there. You can look in there and you won't see no royal jelly or nothing.
Where's the cup? What are you talking about?
This right here is a queen cup. That's there for an emergency. They know enough. They know enough to make a cup. So if they have to, if something happens to the queen, they gotta go. They gotta go.
So like that yellow bubble?
Yep. Yeah, this bigger one right there.
Okay.
It's actually got a hole down inside of it.
Oh, I see it now.
You can look down in that hole and see that if there's a egg or a larvae in there. So that's the easiest. Or you can pop it open yourself to take a look
Usually
too.
there's a lot of royal jelly in there.
Oh, they're all disconnected over there.
If they were making one, there would be royal jelly in there already.
Is it best to leave those alone?
I always do. That's just a sign to help you farther down the road. Because they make them for a reason. Now here we got a problem because here we got a super seeder cell on this one. So if anybody wants to look, you see all the queen cells on here?
Yep.
3 queen cells on here. One here, one here, and one here.
Oh, okay.
So they're already superseding her.
And they're capped.
And they're capped. So that's been 8 days.
So how do you know
Which one?
that there's one in there? Because they're capped.
They're capped. There's a queen in all 3 of those. They're small. But if I'm looking, remember I said on the other frame I didn't see no eggs or larvae? There's some older larvae here. So it's been about 8 days. There are some larvae in here. They don't like her.
They don't like the live queen.
They don't like the live queen. So this side is all honey. If you look in there, it's all nectar.
Okay.
There's really nothing going on in here, but on this side is where the brood is.
Where's the nectar?
It's all nectar in here. You look
Because
down
they're
all the shiny
open.
liquid.
Because they're open cells, you can see the honey. The other side with the brood, they capped them off.
They
What
capped
is
them
the
off.
honey? The yellow or the?
The moisture inside there, that's nectar. Shiny moisture. Way down inside the cell. It's not honey yet, it's still nectar. So now we got 3 super seeder cells on that
So
frame
can you
alone.
let them make their own queen?
It's up to you. You know, if you want to go spend $30, $40 on a queen and cut them out and put a queen in here and hope they introduce her, or you just let them make their own. You want to be a beekeeper or a honey producer. You know, normally once they do that, you're not going to
Whoa,
get...
there's looks like there's a couple more on there.
There's a bunch more queen
Bunch
cells.
more.
See, they
Holy
really
cow,
don't-
ton more.
That almost looks like swarm cells.
Yeah, they're looking more like a swarm cell because they're on the bottom.
Yep.
There's one up on top here on the left.
So why do they build on the bottom for a swarm?
That's just the way they do. Bees do
So
what
yeah,
bees do.
supersede and swarm.
Yeah, well actually,
But see,
just
I'm
because
looking in there,
they
I
just
see
because
no
they
eggs.
build in the middle doesn't mean it's just a supersedure. They'll build in the middle
There's
because
no
there's an
young
egg there,
larvae.
but they're still
There's a little
they're
bit
still
of chalk
potentially
root in
swarming.
here. There's a little bit of chalk root down in there between that, right, the third way in, right
What
by
is
below your
chalk
finger.
brood?
Oh, right in there.
See a little white dead larvae in there?
Oh,
Chalk root is usually from too much moisture or not enough ventilation.
Okay.
The larvae dies.
Okay.
They'll normally haul them out.
Mark, you said you didn't have any hives to split. There you go.
You got 2 frames with queen
Well,
cells
I'm
on them.
thinking there's some super seeder cells in this one too.
You
Did we
can
do
just stop
something
it.
with this one, Mark?
Yeah, that was the
I'm
one
trying to hold
that
this
the
down.
queen left, and then we put it back. We
So it
put the
doesn't
old
blow
that
away.
old queen.
See, that's all nectar. See how
You
shiny
should
it
be
is?
sorry.
Nope.
That's all
We moved
nectar.
her into there, and now they're. Yeah, she must be a real young.
And that's okay. The queen, you know.
Aren't you supposed to have that?
Yeah.
That's the beginning of honey. Well, I know the rest of these frames are empty, so what I'm going to do is put these
Whose
frames.
house is this?
There's swarm cells on there. What do you do about it? Are you stop from the swarm? Isn't
Well,
there anything
it's
you can
already going to happen. Once they're capped, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of what day. So there's
these guys are gonna leave? Girls?
not necessarily. The old queen might be just this halfway is swarm cells and half is procedure cells. So they don't like her, but they're still making swarm cells. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense sometimes.
We're giving her another chance.
Yeah.
See what happens when you start blocking their entrance?
That's who,
You're right behind you.
Oh,
you're in their flight path.
You're right in their flight path.
Oh, okay.
You could still stand just to the side,
You want
just
to grab
to.
that
Oh, no, look at, we moved away and they just
There,
all,
there you go.
oh my gosh.
That's because they came to a home. They came to a site, and the site isn't
No.
there anymore. You were standing in that spot for their site, so they're standing around
Yep.
going, "What the heck just happened to our
I
hive?"
do want to make sure
Oh.
if any of those cells were hanging down, we
Don't want to crush them.
don't want to crush it. We set it on something.
So you can just set it on its side.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll just stand it on end, right on that frame.
Stand it on
Yep,
end.
you should do it like this.
Yep, real careful.
What about just leaning against something?
Or you lean it up against over here and lean it up against it. The idea is you just don't want to be flipping them back and forth.
Yeah, because knowing me, I'd
Where's the take that cover,
That's what I would typically do.
lay the cover down, and then slide that box inside the cover.
We could even put this thing on top of here and then set them on there.
Yeah, a lot of times you put it on your cover, but he's trying to. You
just
don't want to
wanna make
hurt
sure
one of
we
the
don't
queen cells.
Right,
Smash those
right,
queen
right.
cells is the biggest thing.
Gotcha.
Because that's the lifeblood of your.
So we're going to do the same thing here. Now this never got filled out. I always do the second one in because usually this one is tight to the wall. And there's honey in here.
okay, that's why you do the second one.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll build wax cord across, comb over to the side of the box.
Yeah.
Just getting the wax off so it makes so it goes
Yeah,
back
so
in
just
good.
easier. Yeah. So here's a new frame. They started working on it. They really haven't filled it out completely. This side's got nectar in it. Some pollen. See the yellow pollen in there? That's one thing I noticed. There's not a lot of pollen. There's not a lot of pollen coming in right now.
So first thing, the earliest thing you see is pollen, then you see nectar, then you see honey.
Yeah, well, nectar is honey. It's just a matter of how much comes in.
Okay.
It takes what is it? I don't know how many ounces of nectar to make 1 ounce of honey. It's just outrageous.
I'd have to look it up.
But they make honey from the nectar.
Yeah, that's where honey comes from. Is nectar. It's going in at like 90% water.
Oh,
So that's why they're drying it down. And when it gets to 17, 18%, even 19%, that's when they cap it.
okay.
That seals it as honey because no more moisture can get in and make it back into nectar. It
Okay.
stays honey.
Okay. So nectar dehydrated is honey.
Yes. So here's a good frame. Lots of brood. See all the brood?
Yep, all the capped ones.
All capped. But if you look down inside the holes that are hatched, there's no eggs or larvae.
So what does that mean?
So that means there's no queen.
There's a queen cell down at the bottom, though.
Why are these brown and these,
This is honey up here.
that's honey up
This
there?
is capped honey, this is nectar. That's capped brood.
Which is the cat food then?
All the brown in the middle. All these are capped brood.
Oh, I see.
Do they put the browns on the outside? Do
Usually a lot of times on the bottom. But there's usually honey up in the corners, and then your pollen, and then your brood. And it's always using a circle, but I'm looking here, if you can see right here is the pollen. You see the difference in color?
I gotta come in the inside because like, yeah, you do.
And there's pollen over here on this side. There's honey in the corner, and then there's pollen. Because they got to feed that larvae, but there's no larvae in here. The pollen is that yellow in there, about halfway down. And the nectar is clear.
It's okay.
And then
This is capped honey up in the corner here, right? My thumb.
How many queen cells are in the bottom of that?
That's just 3 cups, 4 cups.
All empty?
All empty.
Okay, so the honey is capped.
That's capped honey.
These are the babies. This is
Brood.
the brood. And the clear here is the nectar.
Nectar, and the yellow in there is pollen.
Okay.
When they bring pollen in, they put it in a cell and then they spit enzymes on it.
Okay.
And it has to ferment for 3 to 4 days before they can feed it to the larvae.
Okay.
So it's actually fermented pollen.
Pollen fermented is nectar.
No. That's food for the larvae.
The funny thing about the capped brood is that if you got a newer frame of wax, the capped brood won't be that dark brown. As the wax ages over years, it becomes more brown, and then the cappings become brown. But you can have yellow capped brood as
You're
well.
seeing the
You
same
can have
thing.
yellow cap brood.
Absolutely.
There's very little honey. There's no eggs or larvae in the middle. What is capped is brood. What is empty is hatched out brood. Okay?
Unless it has wet in it, then that's the
And that's the nectar. That's usually up here in the corner.
Mark, do you have
Right there.
Mark queens?
Oh,
Yeah.
brood capped
All
out
these,
brood,
that
wet
M1,
nectar,
no.
capped honey.
Now what we put in here, these were all nukes,
Yep.
bought this year. Those frames, we had a lot of drawn out frames that we put with these. So that's,
That you brought in from last year.
yeah, that we had.
See, here's another supersedure cell. See that up there in the upper left-hand corner?
No, we had drawn out.
Oh, wait,
frames.
what is
Yeah,
it?
we had stuff from other
Supersedure
from the
queen
last
cell?
couple of years. So
Oh, yeah.
most of it was drawn. He has,
So if you are
he has more hives.
worried about getting quite behind, then you go to the new queen.
Yeah, if you want to get a lot of honey, you almost got to put a new queen in this time. Because it's going to take 30 days before she's really going great again. Remember, she hatches on day 16, then she has to take about 7 days to get out and get bred, 7 to 10 days. Then she comes in and starts laying. So now you're starting to count 3 to 4 weeks before you got a good laying queen.
But then you may also have more than one queen. And they
Well,
have
the first one that hatches is going to go around and kill the rest of them.
She goes and kills the other ones in
Yeah.
the cells.
They'll chew it right out the side. You ever see a cell like that that's chewed out on the side? That's the queen. The new queen went in and killed this queen that's inside the cell.
So you got a queen in your glove box for him?
No, not really. Usually have one in my pocket.
Yeah, right.
Okay. This is all empty. All the brood is just about hatched. There's no eggs or larvae.
Or she actually gone.
Are you-
She's gone, I think, already.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little curious, given that the second box and you didn't have many bees up there.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if they already took off with some of your
How was
hives.
this hive before?
Well, that was one of the nukes. So,
You sure it didn't swarm already?
yeah, it hasn't swarmed.
No,
So,
there's no
and this
way.
one didn't have a whole lot of bees in it. Well,
Nectar
you think
and
they
honey.
killed the
Capped
first
part of
so
honey,
the queen in
nectar,
here
so
left.
capped, yeah.
And
Hasn't got down to
before
moisture.
that,
There's
this
all
one had
capped honey.
supersedure cells. So I took the queen out and made
Yeah, they
nuke
put this in here when they did the
because
nuke.
they had
These
3
black frames are the ones that came with the
supersedure
nuke.
cells in here. And I made a little nuke. Well, then I went in there and she was gone, so I ended up taking that nuke box
No, we
that
didn't.
we
We
made
bought
with
them
the
from Black River
up
Falls.
here in this one. And that's why there's brood on
When
the
we
top
got 'em-
as well. Because that was from that second nuke.
And there was five.
So now
class-
she's gone.
Oh, okay.
She's gone out of here as well. So they really didn't like that queen.
Yes.
But you do have a queen cell down here. If you want to do a split, if you want bees for next year, I would take this hive right here, what's left of here, nuke that one, and start 2 new hives.
If they have supersedures, oh Jesus! If they have supersedure cells, they won't accept a new queen.
Yeah, they want to.
They won't accept a new queen. You have to actually kill all the queen cells, then let them go for a day without anything,
Yep.
then introduce a queen to it.
Yeah, I had an instance just down the road from me. The lady, I put a frame in there. Thought it'd just help her out for a couple of days. By the time I got back with a queen, they already made cells in there, so I couldn't put a queen in there because she's just gonna come out and kill her anyway.
Well, couldn't you just take those other cells off?
Yeah, taking them off really doesn't. They've already made a decision.
I brought my nuke box over there. You wanna, if we could split this if you wanna make 2 hives. I'm fine with
That's up to you. That's your hive, so your decision.
that. Don, you wanna grab that nuke box?
What you're saying is you take some of them that got the queen cell on, and part of them, and the other part that queen cell on, and put them in different. Or you can leave the one and put the other one in different box.
Different box.
Actually,
Doesn't matter,
actually,
you just want to have
actually,
separate.
if you have queen cells in the bottom box and the top box,
That's what I was
Just split
just
'em
about to
again.
say.
just take the one box and that's
Do you
it.
have another
Just take the
bottom
box
board?
off. You don't need a nuke box.
Do you have
You
another
just make
bottom
that
board?
one if you have a bottom board.
Yeah, I got.
So you have to move it a
It's
certain
warm
distance
enough
away.
now. Earlier in the year,
Um,
you probably would. There's a lot of room in there.
You should, but
Just
you can
how
also
split.
lock
That's
them
why
up
I said
for
Box and box.
2 days. You know, if you
It's just
if you
less
if you
area
give
for
them feed and
bees
stuff
before
like
you only
that.
got 5
Now-
frames here.
Is he going to want to shake all the bees out into, so that the bees that don't fly are going to be the babies, and put those with the box that he's going to move the location, so that all the flying bees are left with this box?
You can
All
do
the
that too.
foragers they're out right now for this hive are going to come back to this box. So
So you want-
whatever's in that box, that's all they're going to get.
Oh,
So you can shake some bees out of
Yeah, you shake
this
bees,
box.
yeah, shake bees out of here into that one to give them extra boost, depending on what he wants to do. He's only got
These guys basically live in that box.
But the problem, well, and the only problem with that is that you don't want to shake any frames with queen cells on them because you can damage the queen.
Yeah, never shake anything with a queen cell.
So if a lot of the frames
That's your
already have
decision,
a
Mark. How many-
queen
how
cell,
many-
you can't shake any of them. You know
So
what I'm
you're
saying?
you don't have to move it like a mile away. You just
Well, you know, in a perfect world, yeah, sometimes you don't have that option. You just got to do the best you can.
Another hive and I got
This one over here has so many queen cells in it. I'd just leave that one be, put
Sure.
it on a new bottom,
Yep.
and then shake that one with only the 2 or 3 queen cells,
Mm-hmm.
shake some of that over to
Yep, we can pull those out.
and then leave that one in that location. Put that one in a new location.
I'll just put it right along here with a brick on it.
The only thing is, like you're saying, the foragers that are out flying right now are not going to, they're all going to come back to this box. Yeah, if you got big enough.
Probably could.
Sorry.
Definitely, I want to make sure I'm not
Yeah, the same
seeing the cells here.
There's a lot of brood in this. That's what's nice. Almost every one of them frames has got broods. So you got a lot of. You
She
got
was
it.
in there last week.
She's
Last
gone
weekend.
So now there's queen cells in there?
Yep, there's queen cells on the one he's got.
And one on that one.
So now you'll just let them make their own food?
Yep.
And do their needs.
Don, how far away do you live?
as the crow flies a mile, probably.
So she'll have one of them. The first one that hatches is going to come out and kill the rest of them.
So Mark, if you want, you can always drop them off at my house for a few days and then bring them back.
Yeah, that works a lot too. Just if you move them for 2 or 3 days, bring them back. And they can,
Then they'll reorient to their new location here, and that'll do it.
And then if we find one other frame from another box, we get.
or either
I
that
think
or
that
frame
if you
up.
look at that end one, that's probably got honey on it.
Yeah, there's probably on that end.
Oh, this one?
And then you want that
Yeah.
for
You want to
them
just put
too.
that one
Yeah,
in there?
throw that in there.
Yeah, so now they got all the food in the world. Even if they're not orientated to where they are, they're going to have food.
Can
The
they
bees, you
uncap that?
Yeah.
They can uncap that
Oh, anytime they need it.
Okay.
But that only feeds bees. That doesn't feed the larvae. That we're talking about the pollen. You got to have pollen to feed the larvae.
Is there enough bees in there, Troy?
How many bees in there that you need to shake?
There's a few we can shake them out of there.
Okay.
There's a way of equalizing them too. You put a queen excluder between them, and then you wait for it to
Wherever you
fall
want
and
it.
all the bees are half up, half down. Then you take the top box off.
Let's see, we'll probably just set this back open.
So now you shut this?
They'll equalize. If there's brood on both, they'll equalize during the
That's
night.
open.
Keep the brood.
No, that's open, Don. I'm gonna leave it open. They ain't going anywhere.
Well, we're using it as a
We'll
vent.
just set that in between right there and put a brick on
Yeah,
it.
they were pretty much
Making
all
an
brood
improvement
bees,
there
so
because
they're
it
not-
can be a little
Oh,
bit
right here,
warm.
Don.
Yeah, our bees are.
Oh. Spin it around, face it the other way. There you go.
You're not leaving this here though, are you?
Yeah.
So I thought you were taking it from.
No, I'm just gonna leave it there.
Oh, okay.
There's enough brood bees in there. There's enough more bees in that. Yeah, keep them on.
It's got those screens on it, too.
You want to just leave that one right the way it is, right?
Well, theoretically, she's capped. So you know it's going to hatch within the next 8 days at the longest.
Yep, just like that. Yep.
So 8 days from now, she's going to hatch. But you don't want to go in there because she's going to get her wings after
okay.
a couple
You're
of
right.
days. She's going to get strengthened up enough to fly.
Where's your hat?
Her breeding place.
You gotta open the box up, right?
It's open
Oh.
on the
It's on
other
the other
side.
side. It's got a
It's
little.
just got a little lip
I
on
was
it.
gonna say because I got one in the truck.
They use them because they have to orientate every time because they come out and everything's different. They're kind of wall.
So then some drone's gonna get her.
Well, I'll be up a couple hundred feet in the air, and hopefully a dragonfly doesn't get her, because that does happen. There's a chance, but it's going to take another 7 days. So you're talking 2 weeks from now, before she's back in the hive ready to start laying eggs.
Then after that,
Then within 3 weeks, you'll know if she's laying eggs in her like crazy. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you'll have
You don't want to miss your
cap larvae. But nothing's going to hatch for 21 days. So, you know, it's one of them things that's probably never going to get to one full-size deep by fall. That's the bad, you know, the thing is they're never going to get really big unless it's really good.
The beauty of that is, if it doesn't have much, he's got all kinds of full frames of honey
For deeps to put on.
for deeps to put on for the winter.
oh, and then you can save it for next.
Yeah. So you don't have to spend $150 on a new.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of cool. Yeah, the old mice. Yeah.
How old is she?
Way more than I should go.
Just half 2 weeks
Already.
ago, or
And I thought I knew it all.
It's a nice day to be doing this.
Tomorrow I'll forget that.